All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're cracking open an ancient text that gives us an absolute masterclass in military strategy, overwhelming power, and, believe it or not, highly pragmatic diplomacy. We're looking at a specific excerpt from the Mahabharata that details the northern campaign of Arjuna. Now, to really grasp the weight of this, you've got to understand exactly who Arjuna is. We're talking about the absolute foremost hero of his era, a peerless archer with divine weapons and a commander whose name literally strikes fear into entire empires. But if you're thinking ancient epics are just about mindless battles and swinging swords, well, this text is going to completely flip that script for you. It actually holds massive lessons in ego control and strategic leadership, lessons that are just as applicable in a modern boardroom as they were on an ancient battlefield, showing us a leader who perfectly balances brutal conquest with calculated negotiation. So keep this question in the back of your mind. What does an unstoppable conqueror actually do when they're told to stop? I mean, picture it. You're the top hero of your time, backed by a totally invincible army, just carving a path through every single kingdom in your way. Your momentum is absolute. What happens when you finally hit a brick wall? The way Arjuna handles this exact scenario is what elevates him from just being a great fighter to a brilliant strategist. To break this down, we're going to track Arjuna's geographical momentum across 5 distinct chronological phases: the White Mountains, Harataka, Lake Manasa, North Harivarsha, and finally his return to Sakraprastha. Okay, phase 1. The Northern Campaign begins. This incredible campaign kicks off with an absolute massive show of force. Arjuna doesn't ease his way into this journey. He starts with complete military dominance. The text describes him just full of great energy, crossing the freezing, formidable peaks of the White Mountains. His very first major target is the country of the Limpurushas, ruled by Dharmaputra. And listen, the ancient source does not sugarcoat things here. It describes an earth-shaking collision that results in a great slaughter of the Kshatriyas, the elite warrior class. Arjuna just uses pure, unadulterated power to crush the opposition and bring the region under his complete control. The destruction is absolute. It's a brutal, decisive military victory, specifically designed to send a clear message and set a terrifying tone for the rest of his campaign. But then, and this is what's really fascinating, Arjuna immediately executes a brilliant tactical shift. Right on the heels of that bloody display of force, he marches his victorious troops over to the neighboring country of Harataka, ruled by the Guhakas. But this time, he doesn't even draw his weapons. No slaughter at all. The text explicitly states he reduced that country by a policy of conciliation. This is exactly what makes him a master strategist. He knows he has more than one tool in his toolbox. He recognized exactly when to drop the heavy hammer of war on the Limpurushas and exactly when to pivot to the velvet glove of diplomacy with Harataka. He's reading the geopolitical landscape and adapting on the fly to get maximum results with minimal unnecessary loss. Moving right along to phase 2, conquest of sacred lakes. As we push deeper into the frozen north, Arjuna hits a region famous not just for its wealth, but for its immense spiritual significance. Deep in the Harataka territories, he beholds the beautiful Lake Manasa, along with these pristine lakes and tanks considered sacred to the rishis, the ancient sages. Now think about the stark contrast here. You have a massive, hardened war machine rolling into a realm of ultimate mystical peace. But Arjuna is still very much on the clock here. The text notes that he conquered the regions surrounding these sacred waters, territories ruled by the Gandharvas. And the Gandharvas weren't just regular soldiers. In the lore, they are celestial musicians, formidable beings of the air and forests. Subjugating them adds this incredible, almost supernatural layer of prestige to his growing empire. And here is the crucial takeaway. His conquests immediately start paying out massive economic dividends. He exacts a heavy tribute of excellent horses, specifically these highly prized Tatiri, Kalamasha, and Manduka breeds. Put that into perspective for a second. Horses were the tanks, the transport vehicles, and the rapid response units of the ancient world. So grabbing elite breeding stock from a magical region isn't just taking home a fancy trophy. It is a massive tactical upgrade for his entire army. Arjuna's campaign wasn't about ego trips. It was an aggressive, highly organized acquisition of vital military and economic resources to permanently fortify his home kingdom. Now for phase 3, the unconquerable frontier. Here is where the pace dramatically shifts. Arjuna, famously known as the son of the slayer of Paka, reaches the absolute edge of the known world, a mysterious place called North Harivarsha. Up to this point, he's been victorious everywhere. But here, the rules completely change. He runs into what is essentially an immovable object. The text introduces frontier guards of huge bodies and endued with great strength and energy. These massive sentinels step up to Arjuna with gallant hearts and deliver a colossal reality check. They tell him the Northern Kurus live beyond, that war is literally impossible in this place, and get this, human eyes cannot even perceive the region. They are politely but incredibly firmly telling the undefeated champion of the world that his road stops right here. The guards issue this chilling warning. They acknowledge his greatness, they say his conquests have been enough, and they're gratified by his presence, but they draw an uncompromising line. He that entereth this region, if human, is sure to perish. Now, how would your typical historical warlord react right now? Usually, a conqueror riding this high is completely blinded by catastrophic pride. The guards fully expect this unstoppable warrior to take their warning as a challenge, draw his bow, and try to violently smash his way through. They even offer to do his bidding if he seeks anything else, but physical entry into North Harivarsha absolutely denied. But totally subverting what you'd expect from a warrior epic, Arjuna just smiles. The tension just evaporates. He doesn't rage, he doesn't order a charge. Instead, he delivers this incredibly calm, pragmatic, and diplomatic response. He says, "If your land is shut against human beings, I shall not enter it." It's a stunning display of ego control. He acknowledges his own limitations without throwing a tantrum. But, and here's the absolute genius of the moment, he doesn't walk away empty-handed either. He politely requests that they pay something as tribute to his king. He entirely bypasses the impossible battle and goes straight to the negotiation table. And this brilliant move perfectly illustrates exactly why he stops. When speaking to the guards, he explicitly states his true overarching mission. I desire the acquisition of the imperial dignity by Yudhishthira the Just. His goal was never mindless conquest. It was never about satisfying his own personal vanity. It was always about securing wealth, status, and undisputed respect for his king, Yudhishthira. If he can achieve that imperial dignity by simply asking these giant guards for tribute without losing a single soldier in an unwinnable battle, that is the ultimate strategic victory. It's such a timeless lesson in prioritizing your actual objective over your own ego. Which brings us to Phase 4, Spoils of the Conqueror. Just think about the sheer scale of the wealth he pulled in from this mix of brutal conquest and smiling diplomacy. It is absolutely staggering. From those giant frontier guards who he wisely negotiated with, he receives items of literal celestial make, ethereal silks, rare skins, cloths, and divine ornaments. From his numberless battles with Kshatriya and robber tribes and the vanquished chiefs, he exacts mountains of terrestrial wealth, gems, and priceless jewels. And the livestock? It reads straight out of mythology. Horses endued with the speed of the wind, vividly colored like parrot wings and peacocks. He managed to secure earthly riches and celestial treasures, funneling it all right back into his empire's coffers. Finally, surrounded by his massive, victorious army, which consisted of 4 kinds of forces, meaning a highly organized machine of infantry, cavalry, chariots, and towering war elephants, Arjuna makes the long journey back home to the excellent city of Sakraprastha. He has accomplished absolutely everything he set out to do. He approaches King Yudhishthira the Just, offers up the entire mountain of wealth and the incredible animals, completely securing that coveted imperial dignity. And then, in a surprisingly human, relatable concluding detail, this mighty hero, having conquered the known world and negotiated with celestial giants, is basically told by his monarch to go get some sleep. Arjuna simply retires to a chamber for some highly well-deserved rest. So I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder on true leadership. Was Arjuna's greatest victory the brutal, bloody battles he fought, or the impossible battle he consciously chose to walk away from? This text really shows us that ultimate power isn't just about the capacity to destroy. It's having the wisdom to know exactly when to strike, when to pivot to negotiation, and when to simply smile and ask for what you want. Thank you for joining this explainer, and keep questioning the deeper strategies hidden inside these incredible ancient stories.